Workplace is where most of the people spend most of their time, half day or even whole day working. But how can a person be productive working if there is gender discrimination going around? Hello everyone, my name is Julia Anfancia and I will be discussing gender discrimination in the workplace. Before we get further, do you already know what gender discrimination is? It is unequal or disadvantageous treatment of an individual or group of individuals based on their gender. Sexual harassment is also a form of illegal gender discrimination. Imagine you have a sister who works in a big company and is well compensated, but after a month decides to resign from her work. Will you wonder why she resigned? Have you ever heard the Monica Lewinsky scandal in the Oval Office in the White House? She was an American intern who got involved in Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978. The act was legislated after the practice of some American firms forbidding female employees from getting pregnant while working in their companies. These are some scenarios that usually happen in workplaces. Cases ranging from sexual harassment, unfair labor practices concerning wage gap to sex discrimination have become regular occurrences in numerous offices all over the world. So these are the effects of gender discrimination. When an employee becomes the victim of gender discrimination, she will likely experience one or more of these: decrease in productivity, tension between the victim and the company, isolation from the rest of the team, low self-esteem, fear, frustration, or anger. Being discriminated against because of your gender is extremely unfair. No one should be put through such hostility. The law is written for equal treatment, equal pay, and equal opportunity. Despite efforts to promote gender equality in the society, especially in the workplace, numerous reports of gender discrimination still surface, according to SHL Director Mohammed Farid. Observance of diversity and inclusion can help promote gender equality in an organization, but unfortunately, the participation of women in the workforce remains very low compared to men. Farid noted that gender equality in the workplace happens when everyone has equal rights, opportunities, responsibilities, and access in the organization. That's right. He specifically cited that gender equality is achieved if the following are observed in the workplace. Everyone feels safe to pursue the same job without fearing discrimination. People across teams work together and collaborate equally. Everyone is treated with fairness and respect. Everyone has access to education and training within the organization. Look how harmonious the workplace when achieve gender equality. Everyone will be treated equally and they can work efficiently and productively. The SHL official mentioned that promoting gender equality will not only benefit the individuals but also the organization. These benefits include increasing the talent pool for leadership. SHL findings reveal that out of 27 challenges, women outperform men in 21 of those. Therefore, promoting leadership diversity will boost company performance. Second, create a safer and healthier work environment. Organizations with gender equality in place will have more connected people. Collaboration is more fluid as people are not afraid to be discriminated against when they share their ideas. Number 3, overall businesses. Without any doubt, companies that provide equal opportunities to their people allow more diverse insights and creativity. This can help improve processes and productivity, which will contribute to a better business. So this will happen to the organization when we apply gender equality. Their employees will be working together. that will benefit also the company. So that's it for gender discrimination in the workplace.
Good morning, everyone. I am George Tulio, and I'm here to talk about the 5 ways to promote gender equality in the workplace. But first, let's define what is the gender equality. Gender equality is also called as gender egalitarianism. Gender equality means providing equal opportunities to both men and women in political, economic, education, and health aspects, including economic participation and decision making, and the state of valuing different behaviors, aspirations, and needs equally, regardless of gender. Here are the ways to promote the gender equality in the workplace. First, we should stop biasing. To achieve this, we must observe the following. First, provide unconscious bias training. Education training will help them to understand the biases and how to avoid them. Next, use gender-neutral language. Stop using gendered terms but use a gender-neutral words or third-person terms like those people in the Congress. We often use congressman or congresswoman for the person who worked there. To remove bias, we should use the word legislator to address all people that is working there. Last, stop stereotyping. Men, women, and other genders should be welcome in any industry and job level. The second way to promote the gender equality is to have a fair pay to everyone. Every company should provide the same opportunity and compensation for everyone in the same job, and have a good relationship to all workers. Third, focus on the results, not on the person. Put more focus on the target achieved, not the identity who achieves it. Credit the achievers accordingly regardless of their gender, as what matters in the end is that delivered results benefits the whole organization. Next, we have to build an enabling environment. Create a supportive ecosystem for the people. Support everyone in your surroundings regardless of their gender. This includes the following. First, allow flexible working hours, as this will allow all working parents to balance their work and family. Next, promote equal opportunity for continuous learning. Everyone in the company must establish a growth mindset. Not only this is important for the company, but also for the individual's personal development. Encourage equal access to opportunities for continuous learning. Everyone in the organization must adopt a growth mindset. This is critical not only for the company but also for the individual's personal development. Then organize diversity, equity, and inclusion DI initiatives. Show your support and participation in the cause through webinars, conferences, and events. Last, empower your people with the right tools and resources so they can perform at the best of their skills and capability. Boost their confidence. Show your support for them to have an encouragement to everyone, especially to those who can perform well because of lacking confidence. And last, create an inclusive hiring process. Candidates prefer to work in a more diverse workplace. Therefore, it is important for hiring managers and recruiters to ensure they see the company's diversity and inclusion efforts. This can be done by posting gender-neutral job description. Use specific gender-neutral titles. Words like rockstar, superhero, and ninja can all carry unconscious bias. Neutral, descriptive titles could be engineer, project manager, or developer. Double and triple check pronouns. Use you when describing job tasks. It takes gender out of the equation. Next, simplifying the job requirements. Have a simple job requirements. Lower your standard. Everyone could work on the same job because there are steps to practice to perform well. And last, ensuring a diverse interview panel. Start by acknowledging the unconscious bias in the room. Train existing employees as interviewers. Encourage a post-interview debrief. Get candidate feedback and adapt. Provide a standardized interview process.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Maureen D. Pasqua, and I will report the reading one. Why Gender Bias Still Occurs and What We Can Do About It by Jeannie Rometti. Gender bias can still occur in various forms, such as unconscious bias, structural discrimination, and societal stereotypes. These biases can be perpetuated in the workplace through a lack of diversity and representation, as well as through implicit and explicit biases held by individuals. To address gender bias, Ginny Rometty, the former CEO of IBM, an empire worth $113.9 billion with over 350,000 employees, after 7 years in the role, he seemingly stands testament to the fact that gender is no barrier to executive success. But what if I told you the role was only ever within her gaps because she had already spent 32 years to the company? At the research that shown women are most successful in CEO roles only after they have proven themselves with a long history of demonstrated loyalty and relationship building. Gender stereotypes are preconceived notions or belief about the characteristics, abilities, and behavior that are considered typical of men and women. These stereotypes can be harmful and limiting, and can lead to discrimination and inequality. Some common stereotypes associated with men include assertive, decisive, and strong. Some common stereotypes associated with women include warm, caring, and sympathetic. A lead prototype in the workplace is a set of characteristics, traits, or behavior that are considered typical of a leader. These prototypes can vary depending on the context, organization, and industry, but they often include traits such as self-reliant, assertive, dominant, and competitive.
Good morning everyone. My name is James Patrick Dimipalar. My topic is 4 steps to overcome gender bias. First, let's define what is gender bias. Gender bias is a tendency to prefer one gender over another. It is a form of unconscious bias or implicit bias, which occurs when one individual unconsciously attributes certain attitudes and stereotypes to another person or group of people. These biases can affect how the individual understand and engage with others. In today's society, gender bias is often used to refer to the preferential treatment men receive, specifically white heterosexual males. It's often labeled as a sexism and describes the prejudice against women solely of the biases of their sex. In today's society, gender bias is often used to refer to the preferential treatment men receive, specifically white heterosexual males. It's often labeled as sexism and described to be prejudice against women solely on the basis of their sex. Gender bias is most prominently visible within professional settings. Another term often used to interchangeably with gender bias is gender discrimination, which is unequal treatment of a person of group or people because of gender bias prejudice. 4 steps to overcome gender bias. 1. Awareness. Decision makers, both male and female, must increase awareness of their own biases and try to recognize when these views are affecting their hiring and promotion processes. How can you end gender inequalities and differences in the workplace? By creating awareness, we can stop gender inequality. We can promote rights through social media to stop gender gap or inequality. We should stop discriminating. We should also give hope and support other people and not to bring them down or discriminate, judge, or offend them. Number 2, attitude. We need to accept both men and women and encounter stereotypical roles. The expectation that women should be communal makes it difficult for them to ascend to leadership roles. The expectation that men should be agentic make it difficult for them to choose caregiving roles. Breaking gender stereotypes means that we need to allow all members of society the freedom to choose the roles most suited to them. So how? Take a hard look at how biases might be affecting your attitudes or actions. Be mindful that the relationship, language, and behaviors that come naturally to you may be expressed bias. Think about what conclusion you jump to about what boys or girls should dress like, act like, think about, and feel. Number 3, analysis. Collect data on your organization to reveal the true picture. Find out the gender balance among all applicants compared to the successful applicants. Look at the gender balance in your short list. Examine performance reviews by gender and role to see if there is gender bias is coming out that level. Example, finance company found that women were receiving systematically lower performance reviews in male-dominant roles. The data will help you figure where to concentrate your efforts. 4. Systematic change. The only way we will create meaningful change is to create system design to eliminate bias. For example, ensuring there is gender balance when shortlisting candidates or accessing candidates in a gender blind way, assuming of course that the pool of applicants is gender balanced. Changing the systems, whether they are government policies, hiring and promotion systems, or simply the way you run your meetings, are the key to creating real change. We focus too much on the role of the individual in perpetuating or solving these issues, blaming men and burdening women, while it is important for us to take individual responsibility. We must also acknowledge that these issues are rooted in the way we view the leader prototype and gender stereotypes. Change will only happen with the combination of systematic change and individual behavioral and additional change.
Good day everyone. I'll be reporting reading 2 that can be found on page 140, Workplace Gender Discrimination, Where Do We Stand Now? The following article, written by Vic Gesta, project manager who worked with Investigating in Women or IW, mostly advocating for gender equality, cited the gender-based discrimination women face in the workplace. Number 1, the unequal distribution of domestic responsibilities limit women's workforce of participation, o yung pagbibigay ng hindi patas na responsibilidad sa isang babae kumpara sa mga lalaki ay dito nalilimitahan yung pagpaparticipate ng mga babaeng employee. Or number 2, gender stereotypes contribute to a continuous decline of women's representation as they progress in the corporate ranks. Yung mga stereotypes na kalimitang sinasabi na, ay, babae siya, hindi pa niya kayang mag-lead, hindi niya kayang mag-lead ng isang company, hindi niya deserve tumaas ang rank kasi nga babae siya. Ayun, doon na lilimitahan o doon bumabagal ang pagtaas ng rank ng babaeng employee sa isang workplace. Number 3, biased workplace policies contribute to limiting women's economic power. Yung pagpapartisipa at saka yung pagko-contribute ng isang babaeng employee sa isang workplace ay hindi na valid o nai-invalidate dahil nga sa bias, sa gender bias ng halimbawa ng employer o ng kanilang manager. Dito nga na yung para ma-recognize sila ay dito napipigil dahil dito sa gender bias. 3 insights from working with investing in women. Some companies still consider a woman's plan to start a family in the recruitment process. Ibig sabihin, 1 in a 6 employees o applicant na mga babae ay tinatanong kung may plano sila na magkapamilya. Ibig sabihin na nasa interview pa lang ay nadi-disadvantage na ang mga applicant na babae na leaving aside their skills, their strength, and their contribution in the company, mas tinututukan nila o binibigyan nilang pansin kung may plano na magkaroon ng family ang isang employee na babae. Will it outweigh para matanggap sila over male candidate? Number 2, significantly longer maternity leaves compared to paternity leaves perpetuate the expectation that women should take more time for childcare than men. Ibig sabihin ng maternity leave, sinasabi nilang, yes, mas mahaba ang leave ng isang woman employee dahil if ever na sila ay mag-anak, magma-maternity leave sila. Over paternity leave na kadalasan ay 2 to 3 days lang ang leave. Ang resulta ay mas mabagal ang pagtaas ng karir ng mga babae kaysa lalaki dahil sinasabi nila na woman should take care of child instead of working. Na mag-alaga na lang ang ng mga bata ang isang womang empleyado pag sila ay nagkaroon na ng anak kaysa magtrabaho. Dahil may split din lang naman yung time nila sa pag-aalaga ng bata at pagtatrabaho. Women still get paid less than their male counterparts for doing the same job. Ibig sabihin, kahit na nasa rank fairly ang Pilipinas sa World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report, ay karamihan pa rin sa mga empleyado nating babae na nasa Pilipinas ay nakakatanggap ng mas mababang sahod kaysa sa mga lalaki kahit na pareho lang naman yung ranggo nila sa isang company. What changes have to be made? One way to address gender-based discrimination in the workplace is to adopt policies that ensure its elimination at all levels. Examples of such policies include: Number 1, making gender-based discrimination in the workplace illegal. Number 2, ensuring equal wages for work of equal value as mandated by law. And number 3, allowing women to work in the same industries as men. We should and we must give a woman a chance to prove themselves na kaya din nila at meron silang maiko-contribute sa industry na napili nila. Making gender bias ay dapat ay ipa-illegal sa isang workplace dahil ang woman ay meron din namang sapat na strength, talino at cooperation na kailangan sa isang workplace. Ensure the equal wages ng babae at ng lalaki kung pareho naman sila ng job ranking. And even if the workplace is a male-dominated, let the woman have rights na ipakita o makipagtagisan ng galing sa kapwa niya employee na lalaki. That's all. Thank you.
Workplace must eliminate gender discrimination to promote gender equality. In business, gender equality is an equal treatment and access of your female and male employees to opportunities and company resources. This includes employers providing equal opportunities and consideration for promotion, pay, raise, desirable, prepared job, advertisement, and inclusion in decision making. Progress remains slow to ensure gender equality. With so much attention paid to issue of gender equality in recent year, you might expect progress to have issue. However, according to research by payskill.com, the uncontrolled gender pay gap, which takes the ratio of the median earning of women to men without controlling for various compensable factors, has only decreased by 0.07 in since 2015. In 2020, women make only 81% for every dollar man makes. The controlled gender pay gap, which controls job title, year of experience, industry, location, and other compensable factors, has only decreased but only by $0.01 since 2015. Women in the controlled group make $0.98 for every $1 a man make. Gender discrimination is an issue in gender equality. In US, 40% of women say that they have faced discrimination on the job because of their gender. These women report personal experience including earning less money than their male counterparts for doing the same job, being passed for over important assignments, being treated as they are not competent, receiving repeated small slight of work, and receiving less support from senior manager according to an analysis. Sex-based discrimination is also an issue. Sex discrimination is treating a person adversely because of the person sex. Discrimination against person because of their gender identity, including transgender status or because of sexual orientation, is discrimination because of sex. And it's in violation of Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act. Recommended approach exists that focus creating gender equality in the workplace. That this means that everyone has the same opportunities and equal pay work and feel rewarded and care for their work. Men and women may take advantage of different perks and opportunities. However, the key factor in that equal opportunity and access to this area is available to all your employees. Establish equality with flexibility. Professor Claudia Golden of Harvard Economics says that one of the reasons women earn less money than men is that women strongly prefer temporal flexibility over salary. That is, they are willing to turn down higher paying jobs because those jobs come with more demanding hours or less predictable hours. Now, some jobs just doesn't temporal flexibility. If you are a neurosurgeon, you can run out of surgery to go to your children, parents, teacher conference. Once you start surgery, you are there until you finish. If you are a tax accountant, you will work long hours during the tax season. But that doesn't mean most jobs can't have some temporal flexibility workers into them. While women are more willing to make less money in favor of more flexible hours, men likely flexibility too. Implement policies that allow people to work from home, either full-time or time to time. Establish core business hours and then let people pick their schedules around that schedule. For example, Jane may like to come in at 6 a.m. and leave at 2 p.m., while to come in at Helen may prefer to come in at 10 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m. Both women are present for their core business hour of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Both get their work done and have plenty of time to interact with team members. Why not provide that flexibility to an employee's cherish?
Good day everyone, I am Alexandra Villanueva and the topic that I will discuss are set schedules, salary openness, management training, address issues equally, not necessarily the same. Set schedules. Setting schedules is an important thing to consider to eliminate gender discrimination to promote gender equality in the workplace. In today's time, people in our society have different beliefs and some of them are not right. Because of those beliefs, we can tell that there's discrimination between men and women. For instance, men should work outside and earn money while women are just at home to take care of the children and do the things at home. Now, setting schedules is good here. For example, men work Monday to Thursday and women work Friday to Sunday or vice versa. And that is also applicable in the workplace. Alex can't go to work due to an emergency but John doesn't have work that day. John doesn't have a choice but go to work because then Alex can't. Then the next week, John is sick but there's no people to replace him, only Alex. So that's the time when Alex will do the same thing that John did when Alex had an emergency. Schedule should be fair and that can be discussed for good. Salary openness. Who would disagree with me saying that in an equal workplace, employees should discuss salary? I hope no one will disagree, because I believe salary openness is a sign that there is no gender pay discrimination and the company is giving equal treatment and providing equal opportunities whatever your gender is. Let's think about it. When your salary is not discussed or the salary of your co-workers is not revealed, you will wonder, won't you? Yes, there are many and different positions in the company, but employers should be open about the position's pay, and you should all have the same salary based on your position in the company. And because of that, you can avoid having an equal salary and you can work hard and be happy. There will only be gender pay inequality when it is not discussed, or there is no salary openness. Having salary openness can eliminate gender pay discrimination and that can promote gender pay equality. Management training. First of all, I must say that doing management training is an underrated thing to consider to eliminate gender discrimination and so to promote gender equality. Some of us notice that there are some managers who are not well trained and do not know how to manage, or simply they are just poorly trained. Now, make sure the manager or administrator gets management training so that the workplace is welcoming to both men and women. And having good management training is an advantage, knowing that it can put an end to gender discrimination in the workplace, and the company would be a comfortable workplace for men and women. People first, indeed. Address issues equally, not necessarily the same. This one could be my favorite topic. I know we want equality. We fight for gender equality and abolish inequality. But again, address issues equally, not necessarily the same. How can I elucidate this one? I remember Aristotle because of this. He said, equals should be treated equal and unequals unequally. What does he mean? This principle of equality states that individuals should be treated the same. unless they differ in ways that are relevant to the situation in which they are involved. For instance, a business or company. Charmaine wants 3 chocolates, but Alexa gets 3 chocolates as well. Charmaine requests for a night shift schedule at work. Does that mean Alexa wants a night shift schedule as well? No, that's not how it works, not the way to approach management. We should consider if the request is reasonable, and we also should consider based on the facts of the situation. We want gender equality in the workplace. Yes, but we should address the issues equally, but not necessarily the same.